What's up, guys? The number one question we always get is how do I substitute the sled? And that's a great question. Today we're going to build a really inexpensive version of a sled that you can do at home. Alright guys, we're at the Big Orange today. We're getting the parts to build a home sled. As you know, we like to push the sled around tough. It's one of my favorite things. And we've been getting a lot of questions, people saying, hey, can you build a sled for home? That's what we're going to do. So let's go shopping. I'm trying to do this as cheap as possible, but not as flimsy as possible, so a good balance there. So now we're over here in the EMT section, found this rigid, looks like 1.5 2-inch pipe. I think this is gonna work, so let's go. All right guys, got all the materials. Buzz over to the casa, get this thing built. All right, so we're gonna need some materials. We need one 2x4, two 2x6s, and this is a little piece of like synthetic decking, like Trex deck, something like that. We're gonna use this for the skids. From there, you're gonna need some tools. We got a couple of drills. I'm a speed square guy. You're gonna need some bolts, some nuts. We need a D-loop so that we can pull the sled. This is just like a standard toe strap, and then a small variety of various fasteners, etc. Some screws and some drill bits, and that's pretty much all. Oh, you're gonna need this guy too, something like this. This is an 1.5 inch hole saw bit. Make sure you check the full parts description below. In there we also got a little blog post about this too, so you can check that out. I'm gonna build our sled today to be the same length as this YETI 65. What's cool about this is you can fill it full of water, put sand in it, whatever you want to, but this is going to give you a great way to create some weight at home without having to have a bunch of weight blocks. If you don't have a cooler, use anything, sandbags, rocks, whatever, no big deal. All right, we're going to start by cutting our skids. That's where the 2x4 comes in. I'm going to cut these guys to 40 inches, and I'm going to give the end a little bit of an angle, so that way it's easy to slide on the concrete, the yard, the street, wherever you might be pushing it. All right, now we're going to chop all the wood. For our support pieces, we're gonna need 7 at 20 inches and 2 at 15.5 inches. All right, so this can be the front of our sled right here. We've got our slats kind of laid out. You can go ahead, we're gonna measure these, evenly space them. We're just gonna tack them down with some 2.5 inch deck screws. We'll come back, throw some bolts in there, so it's super sturdy while we're pushing. All right, now we're gonna assemble and drill the holes for our push wall. We're gonna go inside, it's a little warmer, and get that laid out. All right. So this board right here, this is gonna go on top. Again, just provides a little support so nothing slides off. We are gonna put two bolts right here that will go in through the bottom of our skids. That's just gonna keep this thing together. And then these boards are gonna stack on top. We're gonna drill 2 1.5 inch holes through these, and that way we can push this guy. But we wanna go through all 3 of these boards so that we have a lot of good rigid support. You could totally do this with a cordless drill outside, but it's kind of cold, and I happen to have a drill press, so we're just gonna use a drill press. So you will need an 1.5 inch hole saw, because we have a pipe out there that we are gonna use to push this guy around, so we gotta drill some holes. All right, now we're gonna stack up our push wall here. So I'm just gonna tack this with a couple little screws, and then I'm gonna put some lags in it so that way it's super secure, but this is just gonna help us as we go and get it lined up here. All right, now on the side of this guy, we're gonna put our D-loop, and what this is for is so that way we can obviously like hook it up to it and pull it around. So this will allow us to push it, and then we can drag it as well. Next step, we're gonna go back outside, put the wall on, and then cut our skids. So we're close. All right, now we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna take our push wall, and we're going to line it all up. We're gonna lag this guy into there. Now we're gonna mark out our 4 corners, put our carriage bolts in, and that's just gonna keep this guy super secure while we're pushing it. We're gonna take this piece of like Trex style decking, it's synthetic. We're gonna make some skids so this thing slides awesome on any surface. But to do that, we're gonna rip this guy in half, table saw. Now we're gonna take these guys, I'm gonna cut these at a little bit of an angle so that they don't get caught up when you're pushing it. Now, I'm gonna drill these. I'm gonna countersink the screws just a little bit, so if you're pushing it on your driveway, it doesn't scratch up your driveway, it won't scratch up your floor in your garage, wherever you might be pushing it. So we're gonna countersink these and then we'll screw them on. That is the bottom of the sled. Last thing left, let's cut some bars so that we can push this thing. Just a couple 40 inches here, bud. I'm just gonna file the edges of these real quick so they're not anything too sharp. All right, I'm just gonna tap these guys in. Last step, any good sled needs a good strap. It's a 12-foot toe strap. Should work great.
Oh, that's perfect.
Let's go to the gym, load her up. All right, I'm back in the gym. We're gonna just throw a couple dumbbells in here and give it some pull. Definitely some resistance on the push, which is nice.